In this lecture, we will find total magnetic moment of an atom. These are the objectives of this lecture. First, we will derive an equation for spin magnetic moment. Then, I will define the spectroscopic notation. Then, I will derive an equation for total magnetic moment of an atom, and we will do some examples. The spin magnetic moment is equal to Gs mu b. Here G is called the spectroscopic splitting. We are going to derive an equation for G in the later of this lecture. For spin, G is approximately equal to 2. So mu s is equal to 2s mu b. Here s is the spin of the electron. In the first lecture, we have proven an equation for the orbital magnetic moment mu L. Mu L is equal to mu b times capital L. If you divide mu s by mu L, then we can prove this equation. Mu s equals 2s over L times mu L. Also in the first lecture, we have proven that mu L is equal to E times capital L over 2m. Then after using that mu L, we can show that mu s is equal to capital S times E over simple m. Here simple m is the mass of the electron. The spectroscopic notation is defined as 2s plus 1 Lj. For iron plus 2, L is equal to 2, S is equal to 2, and J is equal to 0. For D subshell, capital L is equal to 2. So we have to replace capital L from capital D when we write this spectroscopic notation for iron plus 2. For nickel, L is equal to 3, S is equal to 1, and J is equal to 4. For F subshell, L is equal to 3. When we write the spectroscopic notation, we have to replace capital L from capital F for nickel. Vector addition of L and S is equal to J. Previously we have proven equation for mu L and mu S. Mu L is parallel to L, mu S is parallel to S, and also mu L is proportional to L, mu S is proportional to S. When we add L and S, we have to find the vector addition of L plus S. Here J is parallel to mu J, L is parallel to mu L, and S is parallel to mu S. So the angle between J and L is equal to the angle between mu J and mu L, and similarly the angle between J and S is equal to the angle between mu J and mu S. Also mu L is proportional to L, mu S is proportional to S. From the first vector diagram, L dot J is equal to L times J times cos theta 1. So L cos theta 1 is equal to L dot J over J, that is the equation number 1. And similarly S dot J is equal to S J cos theta 2. So S cos theta 2 is equal to S dot J over J, that is equation number 2. In the second vector diagram, the length of the resultant vector is mu J. Mu J is equal to mu L cos theta 1 plus mu S cos theta 2. Previously we have proven equation for mu L and mu S. Mu L is equal to EL over 2m, mu S is equal to SE over m. We can write these two equations in terms of Bohr magnetron. After putting mu L and mu S in equation number 3, mu J is equal to mu BL cos theta 1 over h cross plus 2 mu BS cos theta 2 over h cross. From equation number 1, L cos theta 1 is equal to L dot j over j. From equation number 2, S cos theta 2 is equal to S dot j over j. Now we can put L cos theta 1 and S cos theta 2 in this equation. Then finally we have an equation for mu j. If you take the square of mu j, then we can get equation number 4. From first vector diagram, L plus S is equal to j, so L is equal to j minus S. After taking the square of L, we can prove equation number 5. Similarly, S is equal to j minus L. If you take the square of S, then we can get equation number 6. If we add equation number 5 and 6 together, then we can find the term given in the square bracket in equation number 4, that is j dot L plus 2s dot j is equal to 3j squared plus s squared minus L squared over 2. After using j dot L plus 2s dot j equals 3j squared plus s squared minus L squared over 2 in equation number 4, we can write mu j squared in terms of capital J squared, s squared and L squared. Eigenvalue of j squared is equal to simple j times j plus 1 times h plus squared. Similarly, we can write the eigenvalues for capital L squared and capital S squared. So after putting this j squared and L squared and S squared in the first equation given in this slide, we can write mu j squared in terms of simple L, simple S and simple j, that is equation number 7. The term in the square bracket of equation number 7 is called Landé's splitting factor or Landé G factor or spectroscopic splitting factor. Then after using simple G, we can write equation number 7 as mu j squared is equal to mu b squared simple G squared times j plus 1. After taking the square root of this equation, mu j is equal to mu b simple j square root of j times j plus 1. The square root of j times j plus 1 is called effective number of Bohr magnetron. You have to remember the equation of simple G because we use that equation in problem solving. There are some special cases. The first case, L is equal to 0, then simple j is equal to s, so g is equal to 2. When s is equal to 0, j is equal to L and g is equal to 1. You have to remember these two values of simple G. When there are n atoms, we have to multiply the previous equation by capital N. Then we have the magnetic moment for n atoms. Mu j is equal to n mu b g times square root of j times j plus 1. And now we are going to find the ground state magnetic moment of iron plus 3 atom. First we have to write the electronic configuration. Here the 3D subshell is partially filled. For D subshell, simple L is equal to 2. So ML change from minus 2 to plus 2 through 0. There are only 5 electrons in 3D subshell. Those 5 electrons start to fill from ML equals to subshell. So we have 5 spin up electrons in 5 subshells. After adding all the ML values, capital L is equal to 0. Because there are 5 unpaired electrons, capital S is equal to 5 over 2. So here you can apply either J equals L minus S or J equals L plus S, because this is exactly half filled. So J is equal to 5 over 2. Then we can calculate simple G. You have to remember this equation of simple G. Simple G is equal to 2. Then mu J is equal to mu B times simple G times square root of J plus 1. Then after putting all the values of simple g and simple j, you can calculate mu j.